I'm very excited to show you the latest release from TIMEX. This is their latest all titanium watch. It's the Expedition Pioneer. This is based on the Expedition North GMT that came out about a year and a half ago. However, this is a dive watch version. And yes, this comes on an all titanium bracelet as well. This is not a GMT. This is a 200-meter dive watch. And I have one to show you guys hands-on. So let's flip the camera and take a look at TIMEX's latest release, the Expedition Pioneer. So I know I say this could be the best Seiko ever made, or this watch could be the best Seiko ever made. I say it a lot because they are constantly updating a lot of their models, and they're making little improvements, changing little things about them, coming out with them on bracelets. And now this is yet another dive watch. So this is the second dive watch that they've released this year that is full titanium. This is the Expedition Pioneer. This gets a black bezel, which is a little bit different from what they have done with both other models. The Deepwater Reef in titanium gets a titanium bezel and bezel insert. And then, of course, the GMT version of this had a full titanium bezel as well. So this is the most classic looking titanium diver that they currently offer. They've come out with another dive watch just recently that is awesome as well. I really want to have that one on the channel, but that one is a quartz stainless steel dive watch. This, I would say, aimed at micro brand dive watches. You are getting a black bezel insert. I believe it is aluminum that is painted. You have a pip in that bezel, and the bezel action is actually really good for a titanium watch and a TIMEX, so we'll do bezel action towards the end of the video. You are getting a black dial, white Minitrack, white markers. Those markers are made with Superluminova, and they are fully painted with Superluminova. I don't think they are solid blocks of lume, but the lume so far with these watches has been very good. You have very large hands. The hour and minutes hand are very large and also mostly applied with lume. You have a green seconds hand on here with a pip that has lume in it, and then there's a little bit of a green accent down at the bottom of the dial, right above the 6 o'clock position. You have the little mountains for the Expedition North or the Expedition Pioneer editions now for this watch. That is in green, and then it says automatic, 200 meters, and titanium. So basically all the information that you need about this watch is right at the bottom of the dial. Do they need to put all that there? Probably not, but this is a 200-meter dive watch. It is in full titanium. So you are getting a titanium bezel, a titanium crown, case, case back, and bracelet. You are getting the 200 meters of water resistance because you are getting a screwed-in crown and a screwed-in case back. You can see the movement from the back, and you are getting an NH35 in this watch, which is an upgrade from previous divers. So the diver that's on my wrist today, and I'll show you that in a few seconds, which is the Deepwater Reef, gets a Miyota movement. This one is getting a Seiko movement, and it's the NH35, so it's a slightly nicer movement, I would say. This gets a sapphire crystal. A lot of other brands, I'm looking over at Seiko right now, do not offer a sapphire crystal. They do not offer titanium at this price, and we'll talk about price in just a few minutes. They say this is a 41 millimeter watch. I measured 40.9, so just under 41 millimeters. You have a 47.9 millimeter lug to lug, but if you include the male end link right there, it's around 51 millimeters and change, and then 13.1 millimeters thick. The bracelet on here is an iLink bracelet. That's what I would call it. You have a double push button enclosure. You have quick release, solid end links. I would say my only complaint about this bracelet is that you don't have a dive style clasp. I think that if they want these watches to be more of a tool watch, they need to put a clasp that sort of matches. So that's something that I would say they need to do. And of course, if they're going to do that, put on the fly micro adjust built into the clasp. If they did that with these bracelets, I honestly would say that I think a lot of people would stop buying Seikos and come over to TIMEX. Citizen and Seiko would not be able to compete at this price point. So Opening this up, you'll see you have a display case back, and of course it has the Expedition TIMEX logo on there. It is screwed in. You can see you have quick release and those solid links. It's a great watch, and you can see that NH35 from the back. Very quick, let's listen to the bezel action on here because it's actually really good for the price, for the watch, and the fact that it's in titanium. Really good bezel action, very crisp, very clean clicks, and everything lines up. I'm really impressed with this watch overall. I love my GMT version. This is essentially the same watch, but with an NH35 rather than an NH34. So essentially the same exact watch, looks-wise, and I think the case pretty much the same. Everything else is just slightly different. On my wrist today, I have the Deep Water Reef by TIMEX. This is a beautiful dive watch as well, a very different style. 70s inspired, you have a very crisp, clean, bright look to that titanium. The bezel is also loomed on this, so that is something that's a little bit different from the offering that we're looking at today. This does not get a loomed bezel, this one does. So if you like that, definitely go with this watch. And there is the Expedition Pioneer on my 7.5 inch wrist. It looks a lot like the GMT because it basically is that GMT, except not a GMT. It's just a time-only dive watch. The bezel does change the overall look of this watch. The fit and finish is very similar. It's that bezel that does change the look of this watch from that GMT. And I really like a black bezel on my dive watch, and it looks fantastic. I have a 7.5 inch wrist. This is an under 41 millimeter watch. I measured 40.9 millimeters, 47.9 millimeter lug to lug, so around 51 millimeters on the bracelet. This is also available on a strap. They have a green strap that matches the accents on the dial that looks fantastic as well. And then, of course, you have a thickness of 13.1 millimeters. Well, there you go. Lume is very good on here. I'm not surprised because I own a few of these watches and they all have decent lume. The hands are slightly brighter than the indices, but the indices are pretty decently applied with lume, and then you have a pip in that bezel to give you orientation in the dark. Overall, I love these watches, especially for the price. So if you want this on a strap, it's $449. If you want it on the bracelet, it's $579. I highly recommend getting it on the bracelet and then putting your own strap on. It is definitely worth it. I think the bracelets are really nice on here. Like I said, the only complaint that I would have about the bracelets is that I would like a dive style clasp. But other than that, I think that what TIMEX are doing is fantastic. And this is just yet another example of a really good dive watch coming out of TIMEX at a very good price. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Always remember that if you sign up with a new email at TIMEX, you get an extra 15% off. Sometimes that works for new models, sometimes it doesn't. I think it works on those GMTs. I'm not sure if it'll work on this watch. It's always worth a try to get that extra 15% off. And that brings the price down pretty dramatically on this watch, and it is already very competitively priced. I'll put a link to this watch down in the description below. Definitely check it out if you are interested. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. I will catch you guys in the next video.